What's up, guys? I'm Brian Nystrom, and you're listening to the Greenlight Weekend podcast. It's quarantine times. Been smoking a lot of weed, and it just seemed appropriate. I'm putting out more episodes this week, and this one I was a little drunk for, I'm going to be honest. But I kind of double booked one day, and I kind of overindulged the first podcast with Drew Mitchell. So I came in a little drunk on this one. But I had a good time. It was with my buddy Alex Pullen, who I actually haven't seen in a while. He's an entrepreneur. He's a web designer. He's an artist. He's a musician. You should follow him on social media. I will put all his links in the description. If you want to follow us at GLW_podcast on Instagram, Greenlight Weekend on YouTube and Facebook, all these, especially the quarantine episodes, there's going to be videos, there's going to be promo videos. I don't have a whole lot to do, so I'm really doubling down on the podcast. We're also going to have some call-in options. We tried our first call-in today. We called our buddy James Mirabal out in Gallup, and he's posted up with the family, but the audio was a little shaky, not really what I want, so I ordered a few things. Hopefully the coronavirus doesn't affect that, but this is the first installment of the quarantine episodes, or second episode. I don't know. I'm a fucking idiot. But yeah, this is the second quarantine episode with my buddy Alex Pullen, and as always, shout out to Ethan Esparza for the music at Hip Hop Trip on SoundCloud. Those links will be in the description as well. Enjoy the episode, guys.
Hey, look, I just made it happen. Another young man out here rapping. All these antagonists coming at me. Saving the day, I'm the captain. Just imagine that I am a hero. Truth is, I ain't even got a scene, no. I don't ball, probably can't make a free throw. Lay a motherfucker out like Debo. That's right, little man with a big hook. And I got a big brain reading them big books. I don't make shit rain, blinking when I switch lanes. Man, I play my shit safe, I don't get shit looks.
Sorry, that's always kind of unpredictable when it comes to volume. And anybody that listens regularly knows about that because I bring it up a lot. Like after intermissions, sometimes it does like 5 beeps. Sometimes it does 2 beeps. It's set to do 4 at a moderate volume. But
The glory of software,
it's always different. The glory of software. Fucking Ableton.
right?
It's Ableton Lite, and it was free with my interface, so I can't bitch too much.
Get what you pay for.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the interface wasn't cheap. I got the one James recommended. And the mics as well, Sennheisers, the Germans.
Yeah, James knows his stuff for sure.
Yeah, and,
Audio
bang for
wizard.
buck, especially. He's a pro on,
Yes.
because like most audio experts, he is not rich.
Working class folk, hardworking folk.
Goddamn right. And people that are out of jobs right now, just like all our friends in the service industry.
Which is a huge bummer. I've talked with a lot of friends this week, including James, about event cancellations and restaurant
Everything.
closures. The service sector has been shut down, which is something we're going to have to adapt to. And yeah, we're just showing us so much right now. Yeah.
It's a real trip. I think water is more important than toilet paper.
Yeah.
Food.
It was funny for me because I got a concussion a couple weeks ago, and I was kind of dealing with that and spending a lot of time at the house in a dark room, and ran out of supplies. And then I went to the store for the first time and discovered that there weren't things on the shelves. And then, went and had a meeting that turned out to be one of my last meetings for the week. And person up at the Small Business Development Center who I was meeting with, they were like, "Oh yeah, everything's shut down."
Yeah.
Like, go look into it. It's like, oh, I need to pull my head out of the sand, I guess, because I wasn't really watching the news or anything. I couldn't look at a screen with my eyes.
Yeah,
So
that
I
makes
was just
sense.
checked out. Yeah. So it's a funny reality to come back into.
Yeah, did you hear Jared Leto did a 12-day like silent meditation in the desert and then came back yesterday?
Yeah.
Just in the midst of
Yeah, I've heard about
all this.
I
He
think-
looked at his phone and it was just like bars and restaurants shut down.
Yeah, how society is transformed. Yeah, when I was living in India, I did a retreat something like that, and we had to sign some type of a waiver that was like you're not even going to get a phone call if like a family member dies or there's an emergency. Like, so that's a known thing, is they don't disrupt the retreat,
Huh.
which is fascinating. Yeah. So that is part of, you sign like something acknowledging that. Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah, it is kind of funny, huh?
Just like, yeah, I know you're here voluntarily and you're paying for this, and yeah, you want to relax, but if anything critical to your future happens, we're not even going to tell you about that. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, the whole toilet paper thing is funny too.
Seems like the most ridiculous. And as somebody that's traveled extensively, you probably think it's more foolish than I do, because I'll wash my ass in the sink, need be. You know, we're not
Yeah.
gonna die from a dirty ass. Not me.
Yeah, as long as we still have the ability to wash our hands and stuff, and running water, and
Running water's huge.
yeah, running water is big, and so like for
That's the beauty of having a well.
yeah,
Worst case scenario, you get a generator, you hook the well pump up to that, and you have water. But
Yep.
people with city water, they don't have that option. Like, that water pressure doesn't, they don't control that from their house.
yeah, for sure. It's like,
I don't know how that works. Is that electric? It's got to be.
it depends on where you are. I'm sure there's probably different. Like, our water comes from the Weminuche. I'm pretty sure partially the Weminuche and partially
What, like Night Horse?
no. Technically, no. We don't draw water.
Right,
from
that's for
Night
them.
Horse.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's for the
That's the
tribes.
tribal agreement.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so our water comes from, there's a designated area up in the Weminuche that the like Durango City water comes from, but it depends on where you are.
Huh.
Yeah.
Because I know Farmington water comes from Farmington Lake,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not like it's high ground. You know what I mean? Like, I imagine there's electricity pumping it. Not that I know. I'm an idiot.
Yeah,
But
there's pumps involved. and
it's
they
gotta
pump
be
it
why
into
there's water
towers
pressure.
and water towers, like in the flat, like up in Fort Collins, where I grew up. There's out east in those smaller towns, they have water towers.
Right.
So they pump it in there, like during the nighttime, and then at daytime
Should pull your mic closer. Yeah. It moves.
it moved on me.
No, you just moved back. So just
I'm
pull
just
it with
lounging
you. Yeah.
too much, huh?
You can just take it with you is the thing. Get as
Ah,
comfortable as you
okay.
want. Just
All right.
That's why we got the articulating mic stand.
Yeah, I like that. That's good. I'll try not to touch it too much like last time. I was interacting with the stand too much.
They're not too noisy today. Seems like. Guess it depends on how you move it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is fun. I got to play an open mic at Fence Line Cidery in Mancus about a month ago, which was really fun.
Nice. I heard Bria's kid is doing comedy.
Yeah, Lily was doing some comedy.
Yeah. Well, obviously now's a bad time, and the rabbit hole closed, which allowed kids. So that's where I wanted her to start. But then they just closed out of nowhere.
Like, aside from what's going on.
Yeah, before the coronavirus thing,
mhm.
they went out of business.
Interesting. Yeah, it didn't seem like they had too much going.
No, and honestly, comedy nights I think were really beneficial for them. And, the people running Comic Uprising, which produce all the shows, they made a little money off of it and whatever. But that was the most people I ever saw was during a comedy show. Like, if we charged $5 at the door, it was like packed. It's crazy.
And I'm curious.
Drag shows too.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, it was the gay bar.
Yeah, which is fair.
I'm
That's
friends with
fascinating.
all of them. I
Which
was
is-
going to
no,
do
that's
comedy
cool.
in
Like,
drag in July, but the
think-
bar closed.
Well, and it's just funny because what I was thinking of was the history of what was in there before, because Falks was in there before.
Historical.
And just everything, that building and all the bricks that
Yeah.
people had. If you crossed off
100 beers.
100 beers off this list, you'd get a custom painted brick. And we had friends with multiple bricks, and we have a friend who's no longer with us who had a brick.
Weird.
And so, yeah, it is kind of weird knowing what that place was and how much time was spent there. And it was not a classy place at all. And so I feel like when I want to walk into that space and feel like I'm in an underground bar and pub, and it just felt real clean, and the colors and stuff. They tried to brighten it up a lot.
Well, that was the Cavern probably.
Yeah.
Did you go in when it was the Cavern?
No, because I was gone for a couple years.
Oh, yeah, they got shut down because they were selling coke. But, Yeah, now it's was the rabbit hole.
Uh-huh.
And I think it was cleaner. I was more comfortable like leaning on shit, you know what I mean?
Just being in there,
Yeah, because I went to Falk's a bunch,
Oh my
but
God.
actually it was kind of a
You didn't go to Falk's to feel clean, though.
no.
Yeah, I went to Falk's to get beer spilled
But
on
it
you
was also
and yelled at.
it was nostalgic doing comedy there because even when I was a kid, my parents brought me to Durango because I grew up in Farmington.
Mm-hmm.
Like we came to Durango to Falk's all the time. Like that was the place we went to in Durango.
It was a cool spot with a lot of beer on tap. And
Yeah.
a kind of real hopping scene. Even during the day, the afternoon, 4 p.m., you'd go down there and the bar would be,
Yeah.
there'd be people hanging out, talking, meeting.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
my mom's ex-husband was English, and they had Boddingtons there. So
Mhm.
that's why we went there, so we could get a Boddingtons, and, you know, it was a whole thing. And now it's a cursed building.
Yeah, it's really sad how many buildings in Durango, there's either really high turnover or we were standing up at the balcony the other day and talking about the backstage and how the backstage just has
A
like
wall,
the brown paper and tape on the windows, and it's been almost 2 years now or whatever, or feels like it.
Yeah, I played one of my first ever live gigs there at the backstage. Crazy.
Yeah, it's hard losing venues in town, or just seeing that venue just be vacant.
Yeah, we
empty.
did comedy at the balcony as is now.
Mm-hmm.
A few Sundays in a row, and they didn't pay us the last 2 weeks, and we packed the fucking place out. Like that little space was full of people, and they didn't pay the people that were producing the show, so we're not doing that anymore, which is a bummer. Like I would kind of do it for free just to get the reps, and now obviously it's not an option, but it's just crazy how things come and go.
Yeah, it's hard in the service sector and entertainment industry, like to justify payment. A lot of my time I have to not work with people because they don't have a budget or whatever. And it's like, I would love to do this, help you out and make this awesome or whatever. But it's like, I have my rate or whatever, or a certain amount just as an artist, as a person to show up and do something, you know?
It's your job.
Yeah, it is. And it's weird justifying that. And people are like, oh, you're complaining. And it's like, no, I'm just talking about getting paid for this. Like, this is my job. Yeah, this is not complaining. Yeah, it is a livelihood. And yeah, as creatives, we're going to have to think of a lot of different ways to drum up new work and work remotely and put our heads together to keep things happening.
I think this is the way, man. YouTube. I mean,
Yeah.
we're just doing a podcast right now, but this is going out, you know? And what a better time to capitalize than when people are literally quarantined. Like, this is like a Christmas break, but mandatory.
Yep.
Like, so many
Mandatory
things
retreat.
went viral, like comedians, during Christmas break. Like, they put out a video randomly because they weren't doing shit. And it turns out the rest of the fucking country wasn't doing shit either. They were just at their house on their phones, at their parents' house or whatever. And shit goes viral and goes crazy. Like, this is a chance to capitalize creatively.
I agree with you. Yeah. I've had
If you're willing to, you know.
more than one conversation about that. Yeah. And how, because the audience is real big right now because people, some people don't have that much to do. Depending on what sector you're in right now, you're either working really hard or encouraged not to work.
Right.
Yeah.
But, I mean, this town's population that's in the service industry is what, like 50%?
yeah, that'd be my guess. At least 50%.
At least,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
So, nationally, that's got to be crazy. Not to mention the rest of the countries that are inundated with this. I mean, we have listeners in Russia sometimes. We have listeners in fucking Norway sometimes. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, the internet's a powerful
Amsterdam.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Evan had a very high number of listeners from the Netherlands. Something about his name.
Right? You never know.
Hit
sometimes,
some
yeah.
weird fucking
Mhm.
tag because it was crazy. The Netherlands boost.
It's funny. It could be the bots too.
It
never know.
It sounds very body.
Yeah.
It sounds very body because it's never happened before. But it was a great episode, and it was kind of on par with listens with everything else. But a lot of them were from I don't know, man. It's all weird. Who knows? I'm dumb when it comes to the internet. I just like talk shit and put it out there.
Yeah, it's a fascinating environment to work in. I work online mostly these days, which is super fun learning about the internet and how it's built and helping people mostly through commerce, and e-commerce is what I do. And so I help people problem solve, and every day is new problem, new request, something I've never done before. It's fascinating. Because every day I solve a problem I haven't solved before, and so I used to stress out about that. It was like year 5 where I started sleeping better because I would get all anxious about some big technical problem I needed to solve the next day that I didn't know how.
Makes sense.
And then I started being like, you know what? I've done it every other time. Why would I not be able to do it tomorrow?
That's the way to think about it. That same shit happens with me at work. Like, Dusty's like, yeah, we have to do this tomorrow. I'm just like, fuck, I've never done that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I start stressing about it. Or even shit on the podcast software and shit. Like, when I started doing the video, bro, it was a huge, like a very steep learning curve. And because the audio is separate, so I have to sync it all up. And the video only records 16 minutes at a time. So there's like some weird lag that I have to correct every other frame. Like it's all fucked up.
Are we going to over record now that you said that?
I wouldn't worry about it.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm good.
Oh, you figured it out now.
And the same shit at work. Like every day I'd just be like, fuck, I don't know how to do this. And then you slow down a little bit and just look at the problem and you're like, well, I got this wrench and yeah, I could probably do this. And all of a sudden shit works.
Yeah, it's amazing how generally, like when I get a request, I try to think of 3 different ways I can solve the problem. And then I think of all the ways that each of those solutions will affect and complicate everything else before actually making a decision of any kind. Which is really fascinating because things are very interlinked in the software world, and so one thing will extrapolate to the next and affect the other thing. And so thinking about how to do it, and I was problem solving with a buddy, and he spent like a whole day building this solution to get the client's need met. And then I met with him for like 10 minutes and we wound up going with another solution and abandoning that entire
game plan.
And we got it done in like a half hour. But he was like, man, I wish I hadn't have spent the whole day going down this other road. But it's like, yeah, that's how we figure out sometimes that that's because that's going to be a 2 or 3 day road. And then it's like, yeah, we should just go the real simple route.
Yeah. It's rare good things come the easy way.
Yeah.
That's like when I started digging into the software and trying to figure out how to do different things on the video editing and all this jazz, just a little flair, just doing special stuff. I realized that it was going to be a rabbit hole. Like, this isn't going to be a 30-minute fucking around. This is going to be hours of like taxing myself to figure it out, and that I feel like that realization that shit's going to be hard sometimes keeps us from trying to do things creatively. Like when I look at my notebook, sometimes I'm just like, not getting into that, or even a comedy special, because if I watch comedy, I'm inspired to be better. So next thing you know, I'm 3 hours deep in my notebook in here, and it's the fire's out, it's cold, like, just because I get lost. Like, I don't know. I feel like I've gone in a very weird direction as far as where this tangent started. I don't even know where it started.
Yeah, I think talking about problem solving.
Problem solving? Okay.
Yeah. Which is an important task, and especially right now, is like there's a bunch of things going on and external pressures happening and everything's up in the air. Is like a lot of what I spend my time doing is like workarounds. Okay, here's our goal. How is it that we can, and we're known obstruction, and then it's like, how do we get around that using the non-direct method, which is like super fun in the software world. Like in problem solving generally too, I get overwhelmed, and sometimes I won't start a task because I'm like, oh man, I don't want to do that. I don't know how to do that. It's going to take a bunch of time, and I don't know how to do it, and just get caught in this loop of resisting starting. And when I find myself in that position, what I do is I will challenge the clock, which is an objective thing, and I will sit down and like be like, okay, I know I'm resisting doing this, which means I need to do it first, and I'm going to challenge the clock. And a lot of times these things I've been pushing off for a week or sometimes 2 weeks is like, oh, that only took me 15 minutes or 45 minutes.
That happens to me all the time.
Yeah, and it's like, I wish I had done that 2 weeks ago now.
Yeah, have you ever read The Art of War, Stephen Pressfield?
Mm-mm.
It's The Art of War, and most of it's talking about procrastination, and he gives it a name, resistance. Like, you're always fighting the resistance to accomplish something, but the professional sits down every day, like, and the idea is like the muse will only come to you if you dedicate the time to actually accomplish something, whereas especially comedians, from my experience, are just like, well, I haven't had a good idea in a while. But if you haven't sat down and tried to have a good idea in a while, if you dedicate time to something, results come out of it. But Stephen Pressfield talks about, the amateur waits for the muse to come, the professional sits down every day and expects the muse to come, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you're more
Or
available
knows
to
the
it.
muse will come, or
Yeah, you're more available to it because you have dedicated that time.
You're already putting in the effort. So in that, like, you sit in front of a notebook or you sit in front of a computer or whatever, your desired result is. But
yeah, I agree with that for sure.
yeah, it's a little ignorant to expect the muse to come if you're not yourself putting in any effort.
Mm-hmm. I heard a great YouTube interview with this other artist who was talking about there's this tremendous fallacy in society that motivation to do something or change something in your life comes before the action. And he argued that you must act first and then you're motivated. And I feel like that rings true in a lot of ways because then you have skin in the game. Once you've acted, you've put some skin in the game, then you're going to feel motivated. Whereas most people like wait for the motivation before they act.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting?
Well, I know I wanted to do a podcast quite a while before I actually put skin in the game and bought the equipment and then, started actually doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that it was at Phil's house made me a little insecure because I put all the skin in the game, but I didn't have availability to the studio anytime I wanted it. But I had a girlfriend living here, and it was a whole thing. But the last few days, I've felt like just pressure because I have this fucking studio at my fingertips, but I couldn't get anybody over here. So I figured out how to get a phone call going, and I was just in here for hours trying to figure out how to fucking make the phone to the interface clear and trying to figure out how to make anything coming out of the computer go to its own channel so I can record it. And I still haven't figured that part out. But it's all fucking, but you got to put in the effort to get any kind of results. That's in everything. You never sit down in front of a notebook. You're never going to write a new dick joke.
Yeah. Yes, is tits. Time in the saddle.
Time in the saddle.
Acronym TITS.
It's
all
maybe
about
my
time-
favorite
Time
acronym
in
ever.
the saddle.
AKA 10,000 hours. Yeah,
Yep.
tits.
10,000 hours. Yeah, every once in a while I'll play music. I don't play music that often in public, but I play a lot every day. And sometimes I'll play with people or whatever, and someone's like, oh, you're talented. And that irks me a lot. And it's like, well, no, I'm not talented. I just have spent a shit ton of time doing
Yeah, this shit didn't just happen.
Yeah. This
No,
is like,
I understand that feeling.
you're
100%.
bastardizing all the time I spent suffering and failing.
No, I feel the
saying
same
that I'm
way
just
when people
talented.
are
Yeah.
like, oh, you're just so naturally funny. It's like, I've done 150 sets.
Uh-huh.
There's nothing natural about what's
Yeah.
happening in front of you. This is calculated effort. Yeah.
It's an art and performance, and it took a lot of time and
And-
refining.
And it all comes down in the moment. You still have to execute.
That's the performance aspect.
Exactly. But everything
live.
else that leads up to that is what makes the performance the performance. It really is. Like,
Mhm.
I did a show at, what's the Garage? Is that what it's called now? The Garage, the old Pongas?
Yes, I believe
Yeah,
you're
so
correct,
the
yeah.
owner of El Rancho now owns the Garage. And we did a show there that was like a vaudeville. That's the word. Vaudeville talent show, basically. So it was like people So first we're dancers in like, old timey, sexy outfits, and then like jugglers and all kinds of stuff. And then they're like, here's a comedian, no music, 150 to 200 drunk people, and they could throw marshmallows at us if they didn't like us.
Nice.
So it was chaos, bro. And then so Dave, my buddy Dave, went up there and he lasted 90 seconds. He rode the bull for 90 seconds.
Wow.
Marshmallows, chaos. And then the host was like, okay, well, I was going to wait longer for this, but since that happened, here's your next comedian, Brian. So I went up to that, and there was marshmallows flying before I even got a mic in my head. And I just started yelling at him. I made it 2.5 minutes, 2:40.
Nice.
Yeah.
Before they
But
chased you off stage.
I got a joker. I got some jokes in, But that training, I went to 8th Ave Tab the next week, and nobody could get anybody's attention. The crowd was just talking over them, and I got their fucking attention. And I was like, that's marshmallow training, motherfucker. Like,
Oh, yeah. Performance is a funny thing. You've told me good stories about the different rooms you've played, or not played, but done comedy in, and
Yeah.
the
same.
different responses that you get. Yeah, it's fascinating. Yeah, performing's fun.
It's
I
my
enjoy it.
favorite thing in the world. I started this podcast so I would get the balls to go on stage and do comedy, basically.
Which
like-
you did.
And this has more repercussions, which I didn't realize beforehand, because it's recorded forever. You can do something a year ago, somebody listens to it and gets mad at you. That's happened multiple times. A lot
You've
of
already
times.
forgotten about what you've said,
Dude,
right?
I forget the next. I forget right after we push stop. I have no idea
yeah.
what I said.
Uh-huh.
And I'm getting better at, putting a governor on myself while recording, but it's not perfect by any means.
Yeah. And it's weird too with like podcasts, I'm sure, because like I believe that we have the ability to amend our statements, right? And it's funny when something's recorded and on tape, because often we're constantly changing our opinions and perspectives.
Every second of every day. Yeah, I'm constantly like anything I say should not be taken as a hard statement at all. That's why I like comedy so much, because every final statement is a punchline.
Yeah.
Like it's literally not supposed to be a quote, it's a fucking punchline.
Please
weird.
don't take me seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The most important thing you say, or the most impactful thing you say rather, is the biggest part of the joke, which is so beautiful. And there's a lot of comedians that are not necessarily bending the knee to the queen that is, being appropriate.
Yeah, and reading the room, every room's different.
No,
Right.
you got to read the room.
Yeah.
You walk into the 8th Ave Tab and you think it's the rest of Durango, you are fucking up. You treat that room like a savage fucking dive bar in Phoenix. You don't come at them soft, because they don't give a fuck about you. I saw a comedian's souls get crushed, bro. And I've felt that way before, so I know what it feels like.
It's a hard thing putting yourself out there.
Yeah, and it's your ideas.
Right.
You're not
and
doing a
being
speech.
vulnerable in a way, yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, they don't like you.
Yeah.
They don't like the way you think about the world.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck you.
Mm-hmm.
That's what silence means.
Yeah. Imaginary mushrooms or marshmallows are being thrown. Throwing imaginary marshmallows.
Dude, those marshmallows were maybe the most valuable set I've had. Yeah. As far as like really getting the idea. Like I did sets in Phoenix. I did 3 in a night, and by the third one, I had it dialed. Like I knew how to react, and I was a lot of energy, like coming in hot. I was kind of drunk. It was good. But the first set, I kind of ate shit. You know what I mean? Like, so I kind of got the vibe of this. It's a city. It's not Durango. It's you gotta go hard. There's a lot of people.
Yeah, and to get people's attention, like you said, to actually captivate them and hook them for a minute and get them to follow through to the end of the joke, or just turn back and keep talking to the person they're talking to. Do you get both of their attention or not? And yeah, that
Or
entrance,
not.
I'm sure, is
Yeah.
huge in the first 5-10 seconds, what you do in your persona.
No, yeah, that's how you get introduced to everybody. And if they care, they might listen. If they don't, they will not, and they'll just
Mhm.
talk over you. I saw a comic call somebody a fucking asshole, a patron of the bar that was at the bar because he was talking. She's like, "'Cause you won't let my fucking voice carry," and just went hard. And that was not a good look.
Yeah,
There's no positive reaction.
Yeah.
You know?
there's a sacred balance between entertainment and allowing people to be entertained or not entertained, right?
Turning on the crowd only works if the rest of the crowd feels the same way. You know, if you turn on a member of the crowd, it only works if everybody else is annoyed at that guy too. Or you have something so funny that it gets everybody's attention. Like if you can, I've multiple times I've talked shit to somebody in the crowd and shut them down, and they bought me a beer after. Like a lot. Like I was on a streak. Like every person I've ever talked shit to bought me a drink, so I feel like I'm doing okay. But I haven't talked shit to anybody in a while. I have, but they didn't buy me a drink. At the Starlight, it's hard. They don't give a fuck.
Also, one of the buildings in town you'll get stabbed in front of, I feel like.
Yeah. I'm pretty on. You know, I'm pretty switched on when I'm at the Starlight or anywhere near, as far as like
That block, I feel
defending
like.
myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, El Rancho. I'm always pretty aware of my surroundings. And I always kind of want to be like in the paper, like arm barring some motherfucker.
Right, or get gunned down on Main Street in front of the Strater for some reason.
I want to do that when I'm
Reasonably cool.
80. Yeah. I want to get gunned down at 80.
In the middle of Maine.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
That's a gangster way to go out.
So that way
Your-
the picture, it's
yeah,
like the
you're-
old Wild West building.
Your years are numbered.
Yeah.
You're not going to live forever. You made it 80 years. Do something wild, you know? Talk some shit to a guy with a gun on his hip. I suggest you have a gun as well if you're going to do that. At least make it fair.
Raise some hell.
Yeah.
Make some noise. Whoa, that is really tasty.
Buffalo
real
Trace, dog. Look, there's
pea-
balls on the bottle.
Peaty smoky. Yeah.
They operated through Prohibition.
Fuck yeah.
Through there was a medical alcohol license. Like there is medical marijuana.
Mm-hmm.
There's a medical alcohol license which allowed Buffalo Trace to continue operating. I think 1775. Yeah.
Dang,
when they
that's
started.
fascinating.
And it's a $25 bottle of whiskey.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, this got a way more peaty, smoky.
It's fucking America, bro. This is America. Four Roses is like nice cowboy whiskey. And it's nice too, but it's different for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like the JMO. Real mapley.
Yeah, have you tried Proper 12?
Yeah, you bought me one of those for my birthday last year.
I enjoy it.
Yeah, that was a really good
For the
bottle.
price, yeah.
Mhm. If I remember, that one was more oaky.
Yeah, me and
The
that
oak
bottle and this
wood
cup
flavor.
spent the last couple days together.
That particular cup, huh?
This is the cup. I don't know why I like this cup so much, but I do. Makes me feel like
It's funny having a particular like drinking vessel. When I traveled around the world, I went around the northern hemisphere of the planet kind of unintentionally, which was fun. But I bought different coffee mugs kind of where I went, and I would keep them as long as I could. And like one of them I brought back with me from France, which was cool. And there's something about being in an unfamiliar place with the same coffee cup
Yeah.
each time is like really fun.
No, yeah, it's like
Teacup,
a
you get the
grounding.
feeling. Mhm.
Yeah.
So I'd always do that. Like I would keep a folder of pictures, and I had a small speaker, like Bose Bluetooth speaker, and then like my coffee cup, and then I unfold the folder, and there was like all the pictures and cool things I could hang up. So it just felt like whatever room I was in was like my space. So I had my tunes, my like family members and stuff, pictures on the wall, and my coffee cup.
Huh.
Yeah.
It's really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Where have you traveled?
I've been to Asia 3 different times and lived in Europe twice, and yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. India was a really wild place to live.
Where in India?
I spent most of my time in northern India. After I graduated college, I did kind of a self-constructed sabbatical after school. I was like, I'm going to take a big break off and not do anything for other people in a way. But so I wound up going and volunteering over in India, and I taught English in a Tibetan refugee community for 10 weeks, which is really fascinating. And then moved farther north into Kashmir and Ladakh and worked with a photographer on an international peace and conflict studies project. So I spent like another couple months up there sharing a double bed with a journalist, essentially like doing war journalism stuff, which was
Sleeping in the same bed?
yeah, because it was real confined
Huh. How was
living
that?
environment.
How long did it take to get used to? It took me like 4 days in jail before I could sleep.
Yeah, I guess it took me a couple days to get just over jet lag and used to the fact that I was like in New Delhi when I first landed. Literally the first day I went out and walked like a city block around my hotel. And then the next day I did like 3 city blocks. So I'd get more and more comfortable with the environment. And then I left Delhi and went farther north.
Was it scary?
I
Like
think
the
it's
environment?
scary in a way just because you don't know anything that's going on. You can't speak the language and you're just super
That
vulnerable.
seems pretty.
But-
Yeah.
And so also too, you have to be confident and aware. And I traveled a bit at this point, and so I got the things that I needed and started making friends. And for me, the concentric circles idea always worked really good. And so every new place I'd go to, I'd just keep building new mental map of everything going on and where things were. And I could acclimate pretty quickly. When we got into Kashmir, which was more under lockdown, like acclimating to that was very different than the rest of India, because things were much less available. People weren't as just available to talk to you on the street just because there was much more stress and pressure.
A little more hostile.
Not hostile, but just it wasn't the environment. People weren't there to talk,
Yeah.
because it wasn't a really safe feeling situation. And
So they were scared.
they were scared just
Yeah.
generally with
Self-preservation.
well, yeah, because it was pretty much occupied police state.
Hmm.
There were 50 caliber machine guns on every street corner, sandbags. The hotel we were in was right next to a bombed out movie theater that got bombed by the Indian military in the mid 90s and was just left to rot as this reminder of never to like resist. And the hotel we stayed in was full of bullet holes. There was a mosque that burned down, and we spent 9 days locked in the hotel under curfew. So like acclimating to that was really fascinating. It was like, okay, not only are we in a sketchier place, but we're here during a time of unrest, and we're literally on the square in the middle of the street. And so it was fascinating to learn what it's like to be and live in a situation like that. So yeah, toilet paper scarcity is like, okay, cool. I can deal with that because there's not bullets flying.
Yeah.
There's not an armored car outside. Like,
For sure.
yeah, it was an interesting environment to live in.
Yeah. I understood the canned goods.
Right.
Walking through the canned good aisle, I was like, all right, this all makes sense. Pretty scarce. And then walking through the toilet paper and paper towel, I saw 2 ladies almost fight
Did
over
you?
paper towels.
You witnessed
There was 2
the
left.
lady TP fight,
Almost.
and they didn't split them. They didn't each get one.
They did eventually, but not to be sexist, there had to be a man interject, and he was like, "How about we get one and you get one?" And then they each took one. But it was weird for a second. I thought I was about to see a scrap. I was like, "World Star!"
Go, go, go.
Yeah, my phone was out. I was about ready to record. I'm not gonna stop a housewife fight.
Yeah, I don't want to get swatted.
There
with
was a
some
lot
lady's
of
purse.
people. There was a lot of people around. I feel like
The bystander effect was
I didn't-
super prominent.
I didn't need to interject in the situation as somebody that didn't know either of these people.
Mhm.
Self-preservation.
Yeah. Who knows? They could have dropped one of the rolls of TP and you could have scored it too, right? Just grabbed that and ran.
I luckily ran out of TP like a few days before this happened. So
Then you stocked up, yeah?
I bought a 12-pack. That's like 3 months.
Right, yeah.
I'll wash my ass in the sink.
Yep.
If it comes to it. 3
Mhm.
months, I'll have a hose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just dig a latrine outside.
I'll just put the hose in the toilet.
Bidet style.
You don't need mechanics.
Just have it
Yeah.
piped through the hole in the wall.
Yeah. Generator outside.
Just
Gotta
have
take
the,
a shit.
The spigot. Yeah. Spray me off.
Yeah. Just spray off in the garden.
No, not in the garden. Maybe the driveway.
The non-edible plants.
Screw the neighbors, yeah.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
I think we'll survive.
Or not.
I think people
That's
are
weird.
smart, man. I think we're going to, the most of us will keep our heads.
I feel like the
Level
toilet paper
and-
people are the threat.
I think so too.
It's
yeah.
like everybody versus the toilet paper people.
Yeah. They've been labeled. You've been marked.
It's just rude.
Yeah, I found russets the other day at the market, and I was like, that's a score, but I didn't take them all.
Exactly.
I took like enough that I
Exactly.
think I could cook 2 meals with and was
Exactly.
like pumped.
Yeah. I bought
know?
groceries the other day as well. And yeah, I could freeze a bunch of stuff, but there wasn't that much. So I was
Yeah.
going to leave it for some other people.
To be pumped, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I talked to the Sunnyside right here, and they're like, we're good. So pretty confident I can get meat. And worst case scenario, me eating meat. That's
Mhm.
not so bad.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, it's funny what people went after. Yeah, the toilet paper. My pops told me he bought 10 gallons of isopropyl alcohol to make his own hand sanitizer with. I was like, okay, don't blow up the house. Like
Yeah, there's-
smoking a doobie in the kitchen with 10 gallons of.
That's why I
fucking-
felt like an idiot cleaning this pipe, because it was my last alcohol. I was
Yeah,
like,
right.
well, I already started this, so I guess I got to finish it. But I used most of my alcohol to do it.
Uh-huh. I think there will be more Everclear and shit around.
Yeah.
If people again are behaving level-headed, is like we create a huge shortage in supply chain by all freaking out. You know, it's like if we all just keep, it's like buy enough alcohol to need for the next month or two. It's like there will be.
It's not crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't need to
That's reasonable.
stress all these systems out. Yeah. Fascinating.
Yeah, it's a great time to be appreciative of truck drivers.
Yes.
Anybody that drives a train across the country.
Distribution.
Distribution is why we have society.
Yeah, we're so dependent on it, especially in a small mountain town. We would be hosed if the trucks stopped coming in.
Yeah, I'm going to have to murder a deer.
Yep.
Yeah, right
Bambi.
outside my door. I will
Yep.
shoot Bambi in the face. But if it comes to me and my dog eating and my girlfriend, yeah, we're shooting a deer. Wild West, baby. After I, murder a few of my neighbors' chickens and whatnot.
They disappear. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Foxes, coyotes. We have so many
No.
predators in this neighborhood
Mhm.
because of her. I'm not even playing.
That's funny. You can't steal your neighbor's chickens, though. That's not very friendly. We were just talking about being all friendly, man.
Yeah, but I gave her some weed. I mean, I did it for free. I feel like a little fox appearance. I'll throw some feathers.
Make it look like a faux murder scene. Yeah,
Yeah,
fucking
dude.
planting evidence.
Yeah. I'll frame a fox. I'm not scared. She lives right by the river. There's
That's
critters
funny.
everywhere.
That's funny.
Skunks, another predator that people don't think about.
That's funny. The hype button.
Yeah,
There's a
bro.
lot of hype happening right now. I am glad people are mostly staying inside, though. I think that is good.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad idea.
Yeah.
Like, if you got problems, deal with them. If you don't, don't give them to somebody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just chill. Yeah.
But this is good. I've been struggling to get people over here. And,
Yeah, I'm glad I called you last night.
Yeah.
Should we call James?
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of which.
Good call.
Yeah, but I'm glad we got to catch up a little bit last night, and I'm around to come to the podcast station, the green light, stoplight zone.
The old stoplight zone. I think maybe he hears us through the phone, so I'm going to put it in between us. But yeah, let's call James. Oh, shit.
What's up, buddy?
What up?
Oh, we're just hanging out. How are you, James?
Oh, I'm doing okay despite the circumstances. I'm hanging in there, trying to stay positive.
Yeah, I just posted up in the bus.
I just was rummaging through the bus for some stuff, and now I came inside to my parents' house, and I'm kind of chilling in here.
That's a good call.
Yeah.
I can see you rummaging in your bus. That's a good word for probably whatever you were doing in there.
Oh, dude, I was looking for microphones that I hadn't seen in a while. I'm selling microphones online to kind of help keep me afloat through this time of unemployment.
Yep. But you don't know where they are? They're rolling around on the floor somewhere?
No, they're in pouches and bins and bags and shit.
I know. I did a bunch of organizing today. That felt good.
Nice. Are we podcasting? Are we online?
Yeah, I mean, it's not live, but yeah, we're recording.
Word.
Yeah, Alex is here. We've been talking about, not having anything to do.
How we're coping, how we're trying to stay motivated.
Oh my God, it sucks, dude. It sucks so bad.
Yeah, it's just hard to get financial compensation for doing what we're doing at any given point.
Yeah, it is. It's really tough, man.
We need our
Really,
beer
really
sponsorship back.
What about the beer sponsorship?
We need to find another brewery to sponsor us.
Yeah, seriously.
I'm trying to get Scott to do it.
Yeah?
I'm also trying to get him to give me a job, so.
I want
Sponsor
free
my
beer and a
podcast.
job.
Give me a job. What?
You have great offer, man.
I
That's
drink Scott
awesome.
every
Yeah.
podcast, as do my guests. I feel like I'm trying to
Can comment
shout them out. Yeah.
comment on the
Yeah.
flavor of the Modus
yeah.
Mandarina Indie
And
Pale
I mean,
Ale.
we practically live at the brewery.
Yeah, me and Evan were two of the very few people that didn't get kicked out when they got the call from the governor to shut down all public spaces. They're like, well, we're down to 10 people in this room. We're good.
Oh boy, man, what a mess! What a mess we're all in.
Yeah, but we can talk still. That's good.
Yeah. We can still do. There's a lot of things we can still do. We're just adapting right now.
Yeah, definitely.
I have
Definitely.
drank a considerable amount of whiskey today.
Nice.
That's the one thing is I'm eating more and drinking more when, should probably not be doing that. 'Cause
Not
I
gonna
like
live
to
forever.
be working, but
At this time especially, we're not gonna live forever. You gotta fucking enjoy yourself.
while it's around, right?
We're still being creative right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, hella creative. This is cool. We're podcasting. I'm in another state.
Whoa.
Whoa. Usually I just barge in on Philly and Brian, just interrupt their podcast session.
It's happened a lot of times.
Nice. I didn't hear about that. I'm glad.
He's also canceled more than any guest. So
Whatever. Usually when we make plans, it's like super last minute. Except for the last one, I totally canceled, full on canceled.
yeah, I'm okay with it. We talked about the toilet paper shortage of 2020. Yeah.
This is the news.
Oh man. Oh, first world problems.
Yep.
Very much so.
Yeah, and that's the least of my worries. I just want to go back to work and do things. I just don't know what to do with myself.
Yeah, I'm lucky I'm working for now, but that's going to end in a week or so. So, yeah. I'm
Nice.
lucky I have a
Yeah.
little bit of savings, and I already paid April's rent. And
Nice.
all my bills.
Nice.
So
Nice.
good there.
Yeah, I couldn't have chosen a better time to move into a bus, man. Holy cow. If I had rent due, I would be super ultra mega fucked.
Yeah, we're going to start calling you the Oracle.
See in the future.
He has visions. Yeah, no, I didn't see this one coming, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's weird, man. Super weird.
Yep. But I'm super grateful for my family and to be close to them right now. Honestly, dude, like, whew.
They're not going to listen to this. You can tell the truth.
I'm serious, man. I don't know what I'd do without my family and my friends, you guys, everyone. We're all in this together, so.
Yeah, except you're hours away.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel like we're together, James.
Well, I feel like I'm right there sitting in the podcast studio in one of those comfy chairs.
When are you coming back up here?
When I have enough work to bring me back up there.
So when the storm clears?
Yeah, I mean, I've got a couple of projects in the works, but we haven't seen the worst of this yet. So I'm starting to think I don't want to come up until at least, the beginning of April.
That makes sense.
That I'll consider coming up the first week of April, I think.
I've heard restaurants are shut through end of April.
Yeah, 60 days.
Yep.
This is going to fuck the little town that we live in.
Yeah,
Tourist
I mean, a lot of
economy in
cooks
this
are staying
town.
in business. They're doing a lot of takeout stuff,
Yeah.
which is cool, but
Carver's closed down, though, is what I heard.
yeah, probably.
Because they said they do like 800 people a day, and they're like, we can't do 30 pickups and call it worth keeping our doors open.
Yeah.
Well, Ska's doing a pizza and a 6-pack for $20.
Really?
So call Ska. They will deliver it to your car. Ska Brewing,
God.
everybody.
God, I love Scott. Jesus, I love Scott.
They're my favorite, dude.
That's cool. $20 for a za and a 6-pack. That's
Yeah.
going to be a huge service right
I
now.
love everybody that works there.
Yeah.
I love Joe. Joe,
Oh,
give me a
man.
job. Give me a
Joe,
job,
give
Joe.
me a job.
Your boy's laid off. I need a job, Joe.
That's classic. I will look forward to when we can sit out in front of Ska and hang.
Yeah.
Good weather. Let the dogs run.
Yeah, and I'll be in the back working.
When you're off work.
When you're
work.
off, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we could even do a remote podcast at Ska.
Yeah, it's kind of loud in there.
Well, I mean, do you remember the old schoolhouse?
Yeah, but that was very special.
That was very special.
That was a rare encounter with a beautiful situation that worked out so well.
Oh God.
Yeah, Colorado Calling was our
Oh, man.
podcast, and if you
Mhm.
want to hear that one at the schoolhouse, it's with Paul Bubba Udis.
Yep, that was fun. I need to bring that back. I need to bring that, and I know you've been pushing me forward to bring it back, Brian, and I just keep dropping the ball.
Yeah,
getting
you've
caught
been
up in
saying it
other
for like
things.
2 years, so
I
I'm not
know.
really expecting it, is what I'm saying.
Hey, you guys sometimes just gotta call a spade, you know.
Yeah, you're a dirty whore.
You're a dirty.
It's okay,
You know
because
you-
he's not a woman. I could say that.
No, you're a dirty whore. Oh man. Did you tell Alex about your stand-up bit that you did at the variety show?
Yeah, we did talk about that. Yeah, James was the sound engineer for the
Ah.
vaudeville show.
Okay.
Yeah.
You did mention
was-
that, though.
No, I forgot that. Yeah.
James is a
was
forgettable
so
guy.
awesome.
There was so
watching-
many marshmallows.
It was so awesome watching Brian bomb while getting pelted with marshmallows.
Dude, I did the
It was-
best out of the comics. That training carries over, bro.
Build some thick
No,
I did
skin.
good at
You-
8th Ave Tav after that shit.
You certainly did do the best for sure.
That's funny. I could see that be worth repeating just to make things interesting.
Nah, yeah, I'll do it again.
Yeah.
I
go
told
buy
him
10 bags of marshmallows
when I was
and give 'em to
leaving, I was
people.
like, if you do this again, I'm in. He's like, he said his idea was for the stand-up comics to put a big net around them that would block them from marshmallows, and then at 90 seconds or 2 minutes, drop it. So just to give you a
a
chance,
chance, yeah.
you know, to get their attention. And if you can't get their attention, then they're going to destroy
Drop
you
it,
with
yeah.
marshmallows. But I caught some and threw them back. It was pretty fun.
Uh-huh.
I put a video online. Yeah, it was a whole thing.
Yeah, it was fun for sure. That was a mess of a stage. Oh my god.
You're a mess of a stage.
I'm just a mess of a human being.
I couldn't agree more.
Oh man. Oh.
You watched
What
any
else is-
semis recently?
No, I haven't. My little bro is getting here tomorrow, I think.
Nice. That was a good side
and-
hustle. Unique.
And then we're gonna just chill and see what happens in the world. I have drummed up 2 side hustles though.
Selling crack.
Other than selling all of my my microphones and equipment.
Drugs.
Don't sell all your equipment.
Not all of it. No, I'm keeping what I need, but I'm selling some stuff to make some quick cash.
Like drugs.
No. Just audio gear.
Yeah, James is an audiophile.
I am an
Yeah.
audiophile. The cool thing is, like, I try to keep current with the newest, best stuff so that it's not hard to resell.
Like drugs. Sorry, I'm kind of drunk.
Oh,
being
you're
honest.
good. I wish I was drunk. I took a break from drinking since I like my first 2-3 nights of quarantine. I drank really hard, and then since then I haven't had a sip.
Yeah, I just stocked up on booze, and I still have quite a few reserves. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I just haven't been in the right headspace to drink, honestly, guys. You know, if I'm struggling here and it's been tough, and I don't want to drink while I'm in this headspace because that'll just make me downward spiral.
Yeah, you are kind of a violent drunk.
I am not a violent drunk.
Huh.
I am not a violent drunk.
I've
I'm
heard you're a
very-
runner. Just
I'm a
take
very
off into the
lovable-
woods.
Lovable, happy drunk.
Oh yeah,
have-
it's flight,
have
not
ran-
fight.
I
Yeah.
have ran into the woods. Before. Yeah.
So you're not violent, but you're definitely a liability.
He's a solid liability is what I'd call him. The borracho
Solid.
muchacho.
Baracho.
Baracho. El baracho.
Oh, you fuckers. What else is happening?
I don't know, Sleepy Hito. What's happening with you?
Sleepyito. Well, I've been doing some sleeping. We're working on finishing the Niceness album that I went out to California to record.
That's fun.
I just had a video conference call with the entire band today on this program called Zoom. So there was like 6 or 7 of us video chatting at once.
Yeah, Brian and I were talking about how the video chat thing is going to come in super huge now for all kinds of meeting and planning and keeping things moving.
Yeah. I've resorted to asking girls out for a video chat date.
That's a good idea.
Really?
Yeah. I'm like, hey, you know what? I kind of play it, I'm playful about it, and they really like it. They're like, yeah.
Do you
yeah,
wear
I'd love to
clothes
do that.
during these?
Is it your OnlyFans account?
Well, is that my only what?
OnlyFans? It's like a cam girl site. Yeah.
Oh, I've never heard of that before. That's
Oh.
hilarious.
I'm in the loop.
I'm totally joking about asking girls out on video chat dates. I haven't done it yet, but I might. Who knows, you know? There's always room for possibilities.
Yeah, like a bigger girl with a really sexy voice.
Yeah, the bigger the better.
I mean, yeah, I get that.
Yeah, yeah, you know.
Been there for sure.
Well, some people like pay hundreds of dollars just to watch topless women iron.
Huh.
Yeah, just stand there and iron their clothes.
Well, those women are gonna do well during this whole coronavirus thing.
All the cam girls are killing the game right now.
That's what's
They're
bogging down the internet.
They're probably like, yeah, like just celebrating.
Yeah, my friend Kat Savage, who was on the podcast, she's a stand-up comedian. She is Miss Direction on cam girl sites. You should check her out. OnlyFans as well.
Okay, all right. Well,
Maybe not you, but people listening. I'm just trying to help my girl out. She doesn't have any stand-up shows. Everything's canceled. She needs some cash. Kat Savage. Check her out.
I know, now is the time to like create that Pornhub account and start giving back right to the community.
My
huh?
girlfriend's
Make a little
kind of
money.
into it.
Yeah.
She's pretty down with it.
Yeah. It's like seeing enough porn, might as well give back,
hey,
right?
hold on
Make a
one
little
sec.
deal.
I'll be right back.
I hate you.
Oh, James.
James is the worst. Am I right? No, he's kind of fun. Listen to this.
Is that without his line?
Yeah,
That's coming in through the phone.
yeah,
It's fascinating.
yeah. I got another adapter coming. That's
That'll pull it
XLR.
out.
Yeah, hopefully.
Fascinating. Yeah, you
Yeah.
never know until you try, right?
Yeah, that's what
Hmm.
or that's what James told me. So if it doesn't work, I'm gonna just
Personally,
beat him up. Yeah.
break his kneecaps in with the XLR thing.
What'd I tell you now?
That you were gay.
That's a good one. That's a really good joke.
I think it was pretty half-assed, and I'm not really proud of it, but I'm glad he liked it.
Oh man.
Yeah, this is not the best podcast, but this is quarantine episode number 2.
Number 2.
Nice. What was episode number 1?
Drew Mitchell. I did it about an hour before Alex got here. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Just cranking them out, huh? That's not very quarantine-y of you.
Well, I've literally talked to 2 people in the last 72 hours face to face, so I feel like it's not bad.
Okay, so I was talking to my buddy on the phone yesterday, and he was giving me all kinds of band name puns. So there's a CD CeeLo Green.
Boo.
Yeah, no, okay. Quarantina Turner.
I'm not
Yeah.
mad at it.
That's better, yeah.
Yeah.
It's clever.
He gave me like a list of 10. I just can't remember them all. Right?
Nice. I'm glad people are finding. I feel like people won't drop this whole situation just in general for a while. People will be talking about.
Well,
this
when you
for
get a
while.
nationwide quarantine, yeah, it tends to last in the memory.
It's social distancing still. It's not technically quarantine.
Yeah, I'm waiting for
Getting
shelter
there.
in place
Yeah,
to be
I'm not
thrown
arguing
out.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, some places have done it already. I think everywhere needs to do it. I've been
Easy
looking at
Gallup.
charts. I've been looking at charts and data from this guy at MIT, and just seeing the math and the science behind it all is eye-opening.
I think now is the time to listen to scientists.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to do. And they're not asking that much. They're saying just chill and wash your hands. Like, they're not asking that much.
That's the first time we can save the world by kicking back and watching Netflix.
For real. And it's
Oh,
fascinating to see
man.
if we'll listen.
Take
How?
advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, people aren't listening where I'm at, so everyone's still going out and about doing their thing.
Are restaurants and stuff closed yet?
Restaurants are closed, yes.
All right. So people are still
They're
going to
responding.
get supplies, maybe.
Yeah, going to, garages and grocery stores and Walmart.
Well, yeah,
mean-
people are still doing that here too, but maybe it's their first day off, you know? Got to get
Oh,
groceries.
Yeah,
Mhm.
true. So yeah, but no, it's crazy, dude. I was looking at this data sheet, and this is just a model. It's just a model, but usually their math's pretty right on. But this model shows by April 3rd up to like 300,000 cases,
Yeah.
which is insane. Where are we sitting at right now? Like 10,000?
I don't know. Chances are you're gonna get coronavirus, James.
Yeah, I know some people that are really sick now, and they're waiting for their test results. Did you see that Telluride? The entire town gets tests.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're rich.
Well, there's a rich
Well,
couple there that owns a biomedical company, and they're funding it all,
yeah,
is my understanding.
Nice.
Which is
yeah,
pretty
yeah.
interesting, and they're doing it from what I gathered too, the scientific experiment of Telluride being an isolated mountain town. These people own this company that's been doing vaccine work for 2 decades or whatever. And so they're like, we're going to pay for the 8,000 tests for all 8,000 residents and then test them again in 2 weeks, because what that does is you can determine the vectors and the direction of who's got the virus but maybe not showing symptoms but then still moving around.
Yeah.
So then you can actually isolate that vector in that individual or group or maybe supply chain that's been, infected or affected by this, and just put a damper on that vector for 2 weeks or a month, and then it's like resolved. So from my understanding is, more tests and being able to test whole populations. And so this will be the first county in the country that they're testing everybody.
Yep.
Which is pretty cool, and I'm kind of proud of, to be a small Colorado town next door. And it's like, yeah, we're taking initiative. That's how we do it out here, right? We're not going to wait for somebody else to help.
They got the money.
Yeah,
for sure.
and they have the resources in that circumstance.
Yeah,
Colorado's
that's awesome.
interesting like that. It attracts a lot of varied people with varied backgrounds, and it's a
Yeah.
money thing. It is, at the end of the day, more affluent people have more access, for sure.
Yeah. I don't know how credible the source is, but kind of to change the topic slightly, just ever so gently. Apparently there were reports to the upper governmental officials, that this thing was coming, and a couple of senators dumped all of their stock.
Mm-hmm. I think they were talking about 4 different senators. Now.
Yeah.
Which is something
dump
you
it.
can get into a lot of trouble for.
Oh,
What's
yeah,
that,
yeah.
insider trading? Is that what that's called?
Martha Stewart
Yep.
went down,
Yup.
and she's
Yep.
America's sweetheart, Martha
I
motherfucking
know.
Stewart.
I know.
So hopefully there's consequences for people who, instead of taking action, they were watching their own asses.
Oh, dude, if that's true, I hope those politicians go down hard. Super ultra mega hard. Damn, Brian, your podcast is usually full of fun and jokes. Now we're just getting all real.
We were really having a good time until we called you.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
that may have been a
no.
mistake.
Oh no. Okay, well then on that note, I'm gonna get off the phone.
No.
When did you get sound effects for the podcast?
I just have one button.
One sound effect as of now.
Oh wow. Okay, I see. You've been waiting to use that too.
Yeah, it hasn't really come up, but I gotta talk shit and hit a button in the same movement, so I was into it.
Oh man. All right. What's the first thing you're gonna do when quarantine and everything's over and people are back out and about?
I don't know, man. Maybe eat some ass.
I thought you were already doing that.
Get dirty after staying clean.
Well, not in this.
Get dirty.
Not in the quarantine. Seems risky.
Quarantine fucking.
Yeah, I'm not really an ass play kind of guy.
Oh no. You're just talking out your ass right now.
I mean, I'll do it if it's requested upon and I'm drunk enough. Sure. Drunk Brian's pretty open-minded.
He's open-minded guy.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Sober Brad weighs pros and cons, and that's
Mhm.
not always the best.
Thinks about the future a
Yeah.
little bit, yeah.
There's gonna be a huge baby boom in 9 months.
Oh, there for sure is.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a baby in 9 months, I'm guessing.
I'm gonna have a food baby because that's
Yeah.
what I've been fucking doing.
Right.
How lucky am I, man? At
That's
least I
funny.
can still eat.
Mm-hmm. Feeling real grateful for the simple things for sure.
Yeah, man.
I want to go see some music to answer your question,
Oh.
James.
Oh man. Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah, I just want to get
Live
on stage, dude.
shows. You can get on stage. Oh man.
I just want to tell a joke to a crowd of people. That's all I. It's so weird. It's all I crave.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, well, gents, I have to get off the phone now.
All right. Well,
I have to leave you. I have
That's
to leave
fine.
the podcast.
it's actually for the best.
Yeah, you're better off without me.
Couldn't agree more.
Just until we see you next.
Never.
All right. Well, thanks for having me on the phone experiments and the quarantine episodes.
Quarantine episode number 2.
Number 2.
Ooh, dos. All right. I'll talk to you guys later.
See you, buddy.
Bye.
Oh, that guy.
He really is the worst.
You still keep him around, though. He's handy.
I love him in, some kind of way. I don't know. No, he helped me set up this whole studio and stuff. He just told me what to buy, which was handy as far as mics and interface. And, the interface came with the software, which is ideal. And so it was handy to have him as a expert, expert witness.
James is a knowledgeable reference when it comes to audio stuff.
Agreed.
I consult him for any of my questions that I have. He did a VO for me and a guitar track for a video that I'm producing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
I
the
like
shit.
James' work. Yeah, he does. He's very, very skilled.
Very meticulous,
Mhm.
which is why he's the worst to do a podcast with, because it's not a meticulous art form.
He's gonna
It can
dial
be.
everything in perfectly.
It can be, but it's just not. That's not what it is, and that's
Like when he comes into a room, he'll start moving things in the room to make it sound better. It'll look weird and be
100%,
dangerous because there's precarious things
But
all
it'll
over.
sound
but
better,
It'll
yeah.
sound better.
something's gonna be hanging off the door where if you open it, it'll fall.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
For sure. He's the man though. If you need it, production wise. Yeah. You want to wrap this thing up? I'm kind of drunk.
I think so. I'm satisfied. This was a good second podcast. I'm excited, and hopefully a third will be coming.
Yeah.
For quarantine episode upcoming.
Yeah, I've already exposed myself to you, so
I know.
I don't see why not.
Yeah, keep me on the short list.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, my co-host is out for the foreseeable future, which is understandable. He's about to have a kid. He's very busy.
Yeah.
He's,
Papa time.
yeah,
He's
and
full-time.
Mama Bear can't get sick,
Mm-hmm.
And I'm exposed. My girlfriend works at a bank, so I'm exposed to her, even though it's really slow, but it's still a variety of people that eventually walk in those doors,
Yeah.
It's a whole thing.
It is. I called my older buddy Steve to see if he needed any work on his property, and he said no. Of course, right? Everybody's holding on to cash. And then we started talking. I asked if he still had massage work, and he said yes. And I know that most of his clientele are in their like 70s or 80s.
Huh.
And so I was like, well, then you and I probably shouldn't hang out. And he said, yeah, I was going to say that. So it's fascinating, being educated and informed. And I told him, I was like, well, let's still call each other a couple times a week and still shoot the shit or whatever. And I don't need to be at your house,
Huh.
Yeah, so it's fascinating adapting because he's working with the elderly doing healing work.
Huh.
So and they still need him,
For sure.
Yeah, and it's like, cool, well, I'll see you in a month then.
Huh. And I think it's
Hopefully.
important to maintain human communication, connection.
We have to.
Yeah.
We are social creatures, but also we have to understand that, there's a section of this population or demographic of our population that's way more vulnerable than the young millennial scene or whatever.
For sure.
So yeah, if I'm going to be out and about and going to the store or whatever, or still laying low as recommended, me hanging out with a bunch of elderly people is probably not what I should be doing right now, regardless, right? Unless it's like dropping off groceries or whatever, helping.
Quick and dirty.
Quick and dirty, just helping out, being of service. Yeah. So something, yeah, I've been talking with about many different people. Yeah, and I know James was doing the same. He was doing errands for his grandparents, but not even approaching the door.
Huh.
You know? Yeah. Which is good. I think, again, arming ourselves with knowledge and listening to the science people, the science folk.
Definitely listen to the science people. You got anything you want to promote?
Anything that I would want to promote. I would say support local business
Yeah.
right now.
Agreed.
That'd be a great thing we could promote is local business. I found myself shopping at local stores more, and they have things that I'm looking for, which is cool because they know, and they're not the big places that get all ransacked, on price. And so, yeah, support local business, reach out to people in your community, employ young people, employ people around you if you have the means just to do things to help out, because a little bit goes a long way right now.
Yeah. Everybody needs something.
Yeah, exactly. And so let's be ready and available to start exchanging, monetarily, non-monetarily, whatever, services, goods, helping people out with time. Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be good for us.
Fuck yeah.
System reboot.
We'll see. You got a YouTube page or anything?
No.
All right.
No, nothing like that. If you need website services, give me a note. Shoot me a note.
How?
My website is my name, alexpullen.com.
All right.
ALEXPULLEN.com.
Yeah.
I build websites and e-commerce stores. If you sell things online or want to sell things online or have a service-based business that has a website, let me know. I'm down to help you update your hours or, look at all kinds of things for you. Every day I solve problems for different businesses. Things are slowing down right now, so if you're looking for help, let me know.
Yeah, and it seems like a great time to capitalize on online business.
I think so.
'Cause that's how people are going to do stuff.
Yeah, for the foreseeable future and monetizing all the things we used to do normally. So, yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be fascinating for sure. I'm going to learn a bunch in the next few months. It'll be cool.
I think that's what everybody should do. Try to take this as an opportunity to grow. If you're a comedian, write. If you're a musician, write. Learn. Yeah, everybody should take this opportunity to grow creatively, because what the fuck else are you going to do?
Yeah, apply yourself.
Yeah.
This is downtime to learn that skill you've been waiting to learn or haven't had the time to learn.
Yeah, everybody that supported, what's his name? The, Chang Gang?
I don't know.
Yang Gang. What's his name? Yang?
Andrew Yang?
Andrew Yang. Yeah, everybody that supported Andrew Yang that was like, yeah, if we're going to get a check every month, I'll pursue my dreams. Like, use this opportunity to prove that to yourself.
Right.
Because if you don't have work and you literally don't have shit to do, don't act like me. Don't just get drunk. Go pursue your dreams.
Learn something. Apply yourselves. Look up things online. Fix things around your house instead of just chucking them or whatever,
Yeah.
Learn.
Explore new porn.
Yeah.
You know?
Look up a new type of pornography.
What are you going to live forever? Clearly not. The whole world's going to end.
Try something new.
Yeah. Yeah, you know where to find us. It'll be in the description. I love you guys. Peace.
Peace.
Hey, look, I just made it happen. Another young man out here rapping. All these antagonists coming at me. Saving the day, I'm the captain. Just imagine that I am a hero. Truth is, I ain't even got a scene, no. I don't ball, probably can't make a free throw. Lay a motherfucker out like Debo. That's right, little man with a big hook. And I got a big brain, reading them big books. I don't make shit rain, blinking when I switch lanes. Man, I play my shit safe, I don't get shit looks. Drowning Showing your swag in a swimming pool. All you fake rappers never even been to school. Kendrick had that one called Swimming Pools, and it went over your heads. You ever been to school? Nah. Pay attention, motherfuckers. Y'all settle down, settle in, motherfuckers. Telling y'all never gon' win every time I go in with a pad and a pen, motherfuckers. Apologies, y'all can't face mad. It's a prodigy, that's kind. Min sense is a part of me, that's I. Amazing when you step, better be kind. But then, I ain't in the game tryna make threats. I be in the game tryna get checks. More than that, there's much more to rap than getting money, little honeys in a honey stack. You poppin' rubber bands and I'm done with that. Or maybe it's because I ain't done it yet. Whatever the fact is, too many whack kids that follow whack average plastic rappers. Yeah. Gucci belt, Louis belt, Fendi fucking wallet. Drop the stupid topic, heard enough of all the nonsense. Blood was spilled on the rocks, mounted on your watches. It's revolution time, revolutionize your conscience. Hey look, hey look, hey look, hey look, hey look, hey look. Hey look, 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 hey look. My bro said he wanna hear me sell out, but I don't know if I could ever sell out. Might as well just go to jail, put me in a cell and just sell out. Who am I kidding? Yeah, I wanna get rich. Tired of the struggle trying to make my rent. It's the same old shit, it ain't different. Some dudes alright, singing life's a bitch. What the fuck is this? I'm at the bottom end. Hate an alligator, I'm a hippopotamus. Stomping your shit into the lowest sediment. Cause you didn't make sense when you're moving them lips. Homie, get a new head when you need a new lid. People are thinking that's an opportunity to win. Taking it to another level with a little bass and treble. Knocking it out the park, I'm swinging for the fence. It's a trip. Hey look, 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 hey look.